Now I think I've mentioned this on the site before, but I have been learning to fly recently. And a few days ago I thought, well, why not film one of my flight lessons? And so I did that, and you are seeing this video now, obviously. And so let's do this, I guess. Now the airplane that I'm flying is the Cirrus SR20 G6. It's a pretty brand new aircraft, like it's not more than a year old. I know it's the equivalent of learning to drive in a sports car. It's actually not the perfect trainer. I mean, it is a super fast aircraft, so it's a little challenging actually. And obviously the interior is the highlight of this plane, really. You know, you have these very nice G1000 panels with synthetic vision. It's pretty fancy. Yeah, I do really like the Cirrus planes. They have a very nice personality. But now let's come to the actual flying part of today's video, am I right? Now, the thing is, learning to fly during this pandemic is a little, how should I say, restricted. To briefly put it, I cannot train at my local airport, but there's an airport around 20 flight minutes away that I can train at. It's a little complicated and it's pretty dumb actually, but it works that way. And so the airport that we're training at today will be Siegerland Airport. It is actually quite a nice airport. It has a pretty long runway, and also it's mostly quiet. And the weather conditions were nice too. There was a little crosswind though. And on the flight to Siegerland Airport, we had the opportunity to fly over Frankfurt Airport. And you can see some planes parked on runway 25 right. Well, then we arrived at the airport, and it was time to start the flight lesson. Yeah, here I'm doing the startup checklist, you know, starting up the engine. Then we decided to do some pattern work, you know, just some traffic patterns to learn how to fly the aircraft in such a critical phase of flight better, you know, landing and taking off. As I've already said, we had minor crosswind around 7 knots. Okay, that might sound like a bit, but you know the Cirrus is a little bit resistant when it comes to crosswind. Right, here we are taxiing on taxiway Delta to runway 31. Yes, runway 31 was in use. Alright, holding short of runway 31, it is time to do the before takeoff checklist and in general to do the run-up of the engine. And then most obviously it's time to take off. Now I guess that was pretty damn successful. It's time to turn left base. And yeah, this aircraft is pretty damn quick, so we'll be on the ground very soon. Yep, these patterns really don't take long in an aircraft like this. We are already on final runway 31. I'm coming in quite well on the glide slope as well. Too wide, too red is nice. And now the landing. And that landing was actually not that bad, especially for a first landing after a while. So let's do a little touch and go and try another landing. Let's see how that's gonna work out. Yeah, that was also pretty decent. I think this time around it put a little bit too much rudder input, you know, to crab against the crosswind. But other than that, that was pretty decent, I guess. Alright, so time for another touch and go. I mean, we already did the touch, so time for the go. Alright, now the third landing of the day. Yeah, now we have a wing view shot of the landing. Oh, Could be worse. You know, pretty much any landing that you can walk away from is a good landing, and a perfect landing is when you can use the aircraft the next day. Alright, now it's time for the last landing of the day. Maybe a better this time around. Or not. No, that was perfectly fine too. But yeah, that's the last landing of the day. So yeah, thank you to Max, my flight instructor, and Sasha, who did the very terrible camera work today. I think there will be a lot of people asking what my flight school is. I'll have them linked down below. Not sponsored. I can just really recommend them. They have a lot of aircraft. They don't only have Cirrus. So check that out if you live in the Frankfurt area or somewhere near there. And so, yeah guys, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night. By the way, here's a bonus. We flew to Mainz the other day, and we encountered a P-51 Mustang. Look at that startup. Isn't that beautiful?